Viewer discretion is advised.
My favourite horror film would probably be The Grudge. Just the lady in it, the white face, freaks me out, the way she can like teleport and stuff.
The Grudge. Because it's the only horror film that's ever actually scared me.
My favourite scary movie is 28 Days Later.
I have to say 28 Days Later, really, because it's zombie-ish and stuff.
Well, it's not a horror film, but I'm really keen on American Psycho.
That remake of George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead is quite good. Better than the original one.
Not really, but the only like frightening horror film I've ever watched is The Grudge, which makes it my favourite horror film.
No. I mean, especially these days. I mean, when I was young, I used to be easily scared, but these days, no. They've gone downhill.
Yes, especially tense ones and zombie films.
No, I love it.
No, not at all. It takes like loads to frighten me. Now I've seen too many, really.
No, not really. Some films I've watched like Quarantine, that gave me nightmares for a little bit, but not long, because I'm a man.
I like the way some of them can freak you out and like you keep thinking about them.
It's a good way to get really, really scared without actually being in danger, you know. I mean, it's not very often that you get chased by a serial killer, so you wouldn't ever experience that feeling.
Well, I like zombie horrors because afterwards, like, it's easy to talk to your friends about what you would do in their situation and stuff like that.
I suppose really they just bring on some sort of pumping the adrenaline around sometimes, and I just generally like gore, so.
Probably the suspense and like jumpy moments.
Their stories, and sometimes they scare you, which is it keeps you on the edge of your seat. So.
Probably slasher, because as well as being scary, sometimes it can be quite funny. Well, I find it, maybe it's just my sense of humour, but...
See, I like the ideology behind slashers, but the fact that, you know, these days they're all like superhuman and they keep coming back it makes it less believable. So the more believable ones, so like the exorcisms, they're quite good. And ghosts, because I'm kind of on the fence about ghosts, so. Sorry about that.
Probably monster, supernatural and zombie, just because it's completely different.
Like I said before, I suppose I just like the gore.
I'm not keen on supernatural ones, so it'd probably be when the monster is sort of like human. It's like The Last House on the Left.
Probably zombie or monster horror, because it's cool. Zombies are cool.
I like a good storyline, because you kind of get background to like the murderer or the scary monster in the film, which makes you think about it a lot more. It could be more scary.
I think it depends, really. You know, something like Hostel or The Source. They're good for when you there with your mates and you're just like, oh my god, no way, did you see that? His guts are everywhere. Whereas something with a good storyline that's good and easy to follow, that's better for yourself. Like Paranormal Activity. I watched that with just me and a lady friend, and it scared the crap out of me. Of course I was like, yeah, I'm not scared.
I like storyline in a film, because then you want to know what happens next. But also gore and guts are good with every horror film.
It's a bit pointless having the gore and guts just on its own without the story, but then put too much story in there and you're not really going to have a horror, are you? You're just going to have a bit of a yeah.
I don't like either. I like psychological thrillers, so not a simple storyline, but not necessarily loads of gore either.
50-50. If it's got gore and guts in, it's good, but it still has to have a good storyline so you don't just fall asleep.